Okay, here is my tutorial on doing resin. The components of resin you can get from a lot of different places, any kind of craft store. This particular brand I got from Hobbytown, USA. I actually went to Greenwood to get this, but you can also get it in Castleton. It comes in different minute finish cures. This one's 20 minutes. And basically what that means is it takes about 20 minutes for it to set up if you want to, let's say, add something to it. But it needs about 24 hours to completely cure. So this is just called Finish Cure Epoxy. You can see one of them is the epoxy itself and the other is the hardener. And what you have to do is pour out equal amounts of each. I use these little medicine cups. I actually got these for about $2.75 for 100 of them on Amazon.com. And they're actually marked, so it's a lot easier to make sure that you get the right amount. So you just pour each container into the cup according to the amount that you want. So you need those 4 items, and once you've poured your 2 components into these cups, you're going to want to pour them into 1 cup. And these are just small cups that I got in the paper aisle from Walmart. And once you pour both of them in, you're going to need stir sticks. And these are just popsicle sticks that I got from Hobby Lobby, but you can get them from the dollar store. And you want to mix it for approximately 2 minutes. You're going to notice that there are some bubbles in it. The bubbles, some of them will go away on their own, but once you've poured your resin into your mold, you can actually run a blow dryer over it to take out the remaining bubbles. I don't suggest you blow on it because this stuff is toxic, so you don't want to inhale it. But you're going to want to mix that. You can add at that time anything you want. In fact, I'll go ahead and mix this really quickly because I've got some pieces here that I've been making and I need to add the last layer to these 3 here. You can see that the flower back is still sticking up, so I need to add another layer. But I also added Pearl-X. It's a craft powder, but you could use eyeshadow, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. But these are hard, and once I add the second layer and let it sit overnight, I'll literally just pop these out just like that, and they'll pop out. Once they're done, they're going to look something like this. I used a gold powder in this one, so that's the only difference between the 2, and then I added a magnet to the back. So, moving on. Here we go. Alright, I'm adding my first part. I marked my bottles with a P1 and P2. I've done it so many times now it doesn't matter. I'm going to add, let's say, I probably need about a total of 3 ounces. So I'm going to do 1.5 ounces. Let's see. Actually, I probably don't need that much. I'm going to do 1/4 of an ounce. That should give me enough. And you notice I'm wearing gloves. You don't really want to get this on your hands. I hear that it doesn't do anything, but I'm not taking any chances. So, there's 1/4 of an ounce there. And turn my cup around so I can see 1/4 of an ounce here. And there we go. Okay, both are in. There are a few bubbles you can see in the clear. This is the hardener, the yellow tinted. Aren't really many bubbles there. So now I'm going to pour them both into my cup and just use my popsicle stick to get it all out of there. Obviously you can't get it all out, and it is important to have equal parts, but obviously because you can't get it all out of both, you're going to end up with the same amount. Alright, there's one. Here's the other. And I do recommend, if you're going to put glitter or anything in this, that you use a clean stick, because you don't want to get this in your glitter. It may clump, and I don't know what it'll do after a long period of time, if your glitter will be any good. So there are my 2 empty cups. Now I actually want to add my, actually I'm using Perfect Pearls. This is a Ranger product. You can find this at Michael's or Joann's in the craft aisle, but this is a copper color. Can you see that? Okay. Just tap that out of the lid. I'm going to use another stick, and it does not take much at all. So I'm going to start out with that amount and see what that looks like. And stir this up. And you don't want to fold this. You just literally want to go in circles, scraping your sides, because the powder will kind of stick to the sides. But you want to try to prevent as many air bubbles as you can. You can't prevent them all, but like I said, we'll be able to put a blow dryer over this after we pour it in the mold. It does have a slight odor. So if you can work in a well-ventilated room, I highly suggest that. And if you have a fan and ceiling fan, turn that on, or a table fan, that might help. But you want to mix this for about 2 minutes. So I'm going to mix this and talk while I'm mixing. The next step after I mix, I am going to put this into a mold that looks like this. This mold I got from Hobby Lobby. I did just order another mold of circles, probably about 50% larger than these smaller ones, and it actually has 16 little circles in it. So I'll be able to do more at one time. I'm going to try to keep this video at 10 minutes. Let's see if I can do it. I'm going to do another video afterwards of how to do a mold, your own mold, out of some really cool items. So here we go. I'll let you see this. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. It's got a pretty tint to it, but you can see there are air bubbles in it. But those will go away. I don't think I needed any darker, actually. So I'm done with this. Okay, here's where the magic happens. I'm actually not going to use this mold. I take that back, because I said I was going to fill up the other half of these molds. Let me throw these away. And this mold here is just a Wilton mold, rubber mold. I will say that if you want a matte finish to your item, to use these. If you want a glossy finish, don't use them, because this is not a, it's a smooth surface, but it's not a glossy surface, so you're not going to get that smooth glossy look, the glossy look that you see on this side. You're going to have a matte finish. But what I do is I actually put a gloss over them. I actually use this glossy accents. I just brush that on after, and that's how I got, oops, a little bit of gloss sheen to that one. So just a little tip. Alright, so I'm literally going to pour this over, and you can just use your popsicle stick to spread it out, but it usually spreads out on its own pretty well. Alright, and as you see, for these small squares, it does not take much at all. And this last one. And after you finish this, you'll just want to sit this somewhere where it's not going to get bumped or fall over, because you obviously want it on a flat surface out of the way, so the shape doesn't get distorted. But that is it. I'll sit this somewhere, and let it dry until tomorrow, and I'll pop them out and add my magnet. I will say one thing about the glossy accents that I have used. I set this on a piece of wax paper so that would be easy to take off, but you may see the glossy accents on the edge. You can actually sand this. I have a Dremel sander that I'll use probably when they're all done, in case I end up getting the same thing with the others, but I'll just sand all of that down and it'll be perfect. So that is it for how to do basic resin. I will be back in a moment for the mold making.